Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Star Wars Desert Skiff Escape from 2017. It is set number 75174, comes with 277 pieces, including 4 figures, and originally retailed for $30. But if you're trying to buy it now in 2024 on Bricklink, brand new sealed, you are looking at no less than $70. I will be the first to admit, when I first picked this set up, I did it for a specific reason. I had just recently picked up the Bounty Hunter Battle Pack, which has Bosk, Dengar, IG-88, and Forlom, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, this set doesn't have Boba Fett, and I still don't have Boba Fett for myself. So I went looking for the first set I saw with Boba Fett that I liked. This just so happened to be that set. Fortunately, I ended up liking this set quite a bit more than just for having Boba Fett. We'll go ahead and go into the in-depth on the set in just a second. First off, we will take a look at the instruction manual. As this came out in 2017, it does still have that wonderful Rogue One style top on the top, top art, and you see the full set in its glory, with Han looking like he's about to get in a skirmish with the Skiff guard, with Boba Fett flying in, causing trouble, and it looks like Chewie's about to be dropped into the Sarlacc pit. So open up the manual, you just go straight in. There we go. Open up the manual, you see the usual showing how you're supposed to open the bags, and you see that this set originally came with 3 bags. Nothing too crazy, but I wouldn't expect any more from a $30 set. In the back, you see the set fully constructed, along with a pretty solid lineup of sets. You've got both Rogue One Battle Packs, the Rebel one, and the Imperial one with the Death Troopers, the original $30 Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, the Duel on Naboo, one of my personal favorite $30 sets, right next to another, my personal favorites, the Phantom 2 with that oh-so-necessary Admiral Thrawn figure. Then you got the Battle of Scarif Bunker and the Rogue One Y-Wing. Quite a solid collection of sets there. Plus, on the next page, you see every last figure that comes with all those sets. And then right after that, you see the list of Rogue One buildable figures: Jyn Erso, K2SO, the Death Trooper, the Scarif Stormtrooper, Chirrut Imwe, and Baze Malbus, along with an ad for the LEGO Star Wars Force Builder app. Pretty solid lineup of ads there. And then, of course, the last 2 pages are the list of all your pieces. So let's go ahead and go into the in-depth of this set, starting with the figures. So first off, we have Han Solo. Pretty good choice for hairpiece. His main face looks pretty good, like kind of nervous. The torso print is, while pretty detailed, is also kind of simple. Oh, but it doesn't really need to be much. It's just a white shirt, no arm or leg printing, or even back printing on the torso, so a little light on detail. But he does have an alternate face, which I think works well for early Return of the Jedi Han Solo. Did he just come out of the carbonite brick? Is he squinting his eyes because it's too bright and his eyes haven't been adjusted yet? Either way, I think it works. So pretty solid Han Solo figure. And since it is the Desert Skiff set, of course, his main accessory is a pair of minifigure handcuffs, which of course just go snap on the arms like so. There we go. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they work. They work just fine. And pretty simple, but most certainly a necessary figure for the set. And next up, we have Chewbacca. Much like Han, he does come with a pair of minifigure handcuffs, and it's the same Chewbacca that we've been getting since 2015 with the Force Awakens sets. But that doesn't mean he's still not a really good looking figure with the extra coloring around the face, the print, the metallic silver for the bandolier, both on the front and back. I will say, I'm glad that LEGO has stuck with this version of Chewbacca. This is the best version we've gotten of him ever. And for figure number 3, we have ourselves a Weequay Skiff Guard. which is pretty detailed. If you take a look, a lot like there's plenty of detailing on the face and the torso, like that the belt goes all the way down to the hips, and the print. Oh, and the print for the shirt goes all the way down. Goes all the way down to the legs. So that looks really good. Nice to like the tuft of hair you got on the front. No arm printing to speak of, and like I said, there is not in the. It doesn't quite cover the whole legs, inks, but there is some leg printing there. Take a look at the back. Got even more detailing on the back of the head. You can see where the pigtails start on the head, and another one. And in fact, you can see one one of them going back to the back of the torso. You can almost, in fact, you can almost get to where, or you can get into this ponytail to line up with the tuffle of hair. So I actually really like that. But plus the rest of the torso is as detailed as well. Unfortunately, they didn't get the belt to go to the all the way to the waist on the back. And as you can see, yeah, that his accessory is a really big axe, which you do see a few people wield in the movie. So all in all, I do believe that this figure is exclusive to this set. So all in all, it makes for a really good figure. And for our fourth and final figure, the one I think is the standout figure, we have Boba Fett in all his wonderful, wonderful detail, including a detail that the 2019 that's a Skiff Boba Fett isn't coming with, and that is the cloth piece on his shoulder, or that he has in Return of Jedi. So nice that they have that in there. No arm printing, unfortunately, but the torso print looks really good. You can see a tuft of Wookiee here hair over here on the right shoulder, or from one of his Wookiee kills, right next to a print of a thermal detonator. The armor looks really good. A bit beat up, but still looks really good. Nice, nice belt piece with plenty of pouches. I think these are supposed to be like some camos. It was kind of like what Catherine Rex wears printed, and you can see some pouches and some armor main pieces. Like they even printed the toes. Like that's crazy. This might be one of the most detailed Boba Fett figures they've ever come out with. Now, of course, said the helmet looks fantastic. Of course, he has the range finder attached to his side. They didn't actually like make a dent, but they did put a little printing to show where it's supposed to be. Got the yellow markings on the side. And of course, you can just take the helmet off. Underneath, you'll find the usual angry clone face. Yes, of course, he has his jetpack. And taking off the jetpack, here is what his torso looks like. So really, really good. So really good, really detailed Boba Fett figure. But of course, Boba Fett wouldn't be the most dangerous bounty in the world without a weapon, which they most certainly include. Made up of the regular Han Solo style blaster and a black lightsaber hilt, which looks really good. So all in all, I would definitely say the Boba Fett is the highlight figure of this set. Now that we've taken a look at all the figures, let's go ahead and move on to the main builds, starting with the Sarlacc. And here is the Sarlacc pit. It's not too it's not too big. It's not too small. The whole circumference, it's about a 3-inch circle. So it is more than it is a good size set. It can just fit in your hand, and and it'll fit just fine. And good detail all around. Like plenty of sand around. Got plenty of the teeth plus a couple of tentacles, and of course you got the mouth. And it does have a pretty good play feature. You can see that this particular tentacle is connected to a bunch of technical pieces, and that works as your main function. Basically, this thing can move the mouth from side to side. Actually, doing it like this kind of makes the Sarlacc look like it's chewing its food. Actually, speaking of food, it is big enough that you can fit a figure in there. So let's go ahead, throw a Boba Fett in there. you do have to do it without his blaster, but I have found that you don't have to adjust the rangefinder. So let's see. There we go. So yeah, Boba fits, and it's in there just fine. And so yeah, it kind of makes it look like it's chewing its food. Food, but if you want to open your mouth, let Boba out. Just pull all the tentacle up, and the mouth will open, and then you just have to. Well, let me get Boba out of there. Now he's kind of getting in the way. So yeah, just pull the tentacle up to open the mouth, and push it back down to close it. The one downside of that mechanism is that it's you kind of have to use your hands if you want to get like the mouth in a fully upright and closed position. But yeah, it's not too crazy of a Sarlacc pick, but it does what it needs to do. So I'm pretty happy with it. So let's go ahead and move on to the Desert Skiff. And here is what might be one of the cleanest Lego versions of the Desert Skiff we've ever seen. So much so that, with the exception of a few tweaks in colors and design, they're basically doing a copy-paste of this Desert Skiff for the 2019 version. And it is a pretty solid. So it is pretty solid. Like around on the edges, it's basically studless, but on the inside there's plenty of studs. So there's plenty. There's plenty of room. Underneath, you can see a good amount of transparent 2x4 circular bricks, and so with the flat tiles underneath to give it just enough of a impression that is hovering. As you can see, you do have the opening gang blanket that to put some, and there's a couple of studs at the end to put a figure on. There is a 1x2 tile on the bottom to keep it from coming out completely. However, I have noticed that if you kind of fly the thing around, there isn't really anything stopping it from coming out. But other than that, this is pretty solid. These sails on the back are adjustable, both with these click joints and with they are on a small Technic pin, so they can be adjusted both forward and back, and up and down. You do have a printed control panel on the back with enough room to put a pilot in the back. And like I said, there are studs all over the place, so you can literally put your figures basically anywhere you want. So here's your pilot. We'll go ahead, throw Chewie over here, and we'll go ahead put Hong on the gangplank. Okay, so yeah, there's plenty of room in there. It doesn't feel crowded, and just for a little extra fun, this 2x6 style can be easily removed, where you'll find a little bit of storage along with which hides Han's blaster. So I can easily see why Lego basically did a copy. It's basically doing a copy paste of this Desert Skiff for the 2019 version of the same set. Here it is next to the Sarlacc to give you a sense of scale. So like it's not too so it's a pretty good skiff. Nothing seems too big. Nothing seems overly too big or too small. It's a pretty solid build all around. So let's go. So that's everything in the set. Let's go on to my final thoughts. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about the Desert Skiff is when it comes to length, when from the tip to from one tip to the other, you're looking about almost exactly 9.5 inches. So that's a pretty good size skiff. So for the final thoughts, I gotta admit, for a set that I picked up specifically for one minifigure, I quite enjoy it. It's solid figure selection, both the builds for the Sarlacc and the Desert Skiff are pretty good. Nothing too crazy when it comes to play features, but it does what it needs to do. And for $30, I actually felt like this is almost a bit of a steal. And plus, for the price, for those who think price per piece is the end all be all, it's actually not. It's actually pretty close to that the 10 cents per piece mark that Lego thinks they're supposed to stick with. Even though anything, it's an exception, not the rule. But of course, it makes me wonder why in the world Lego thinks they can get away with $80 for basically the same set. Like, throw in the so like if they didn't change up the size on the Sarlacc pit and basically but basically is went with the new figures, switching out the Skip guard for Orlando, and then adding in Luke and the 25th anniversary 9 nub, I could see them doing this for 40, maybe 45. But $80, that to me, that can only mean one thing, and that price is bumped up basically all due to the size of the Sarlacc pit, which honestly, I look at that thing and it's like, Sarlacc pit looks more like a Sarlacc hill. I know it's a bit difficult to build to do a build where you basically where it's basically just a hole in the ground. But I think they could have done better than basically turning the Sarlacc pit into a hill, which is basically what they did. Instead of finding a way to make the Sarlacc mouth and tentacles all underneath, they they raised it instead. They made it into a hill instead of a pit. So I'm like, what in the world happened? So yeah, that's basically the only thing I could possibly imagine. The 2019 Sarlacc pit, which is actually getting ready to come out in just a couple weeks, as of the recording of this video. That's the only thing I can imagine why that set is $80, because they bumped up the size of the Sarlacc pit, which and made it not a pit. I get what where they're going for. Of course, the rumor of the UCS Java sale barge is still out there. We still hasn't been confirmed. It still hasn't been confirmed if it is true. We haven't seen any images of it yet. But yeah, I can see where Lego was going, wanting to put a desert skiff set out to complement that UCS sail barge, if that rumor is true. But did they really need to make the solid pick that big? I mean, like I said, this thing is basically built on a 3-inch diameter circle, and to me it's just fine. It does it's nothing too crazy. It's a good size. It doesn't bump up the price too much. I don't get where Lego is going with that Sarlacc hill, which is why I'm going to be calling it. It's not a pit. It's a hill. But anyway, that is my review on this set. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. You can check out some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. I hope I've helped you guys decide whether you want to pick this setup or not. Again, $70 is a bit much. It might just be easier for you to go with the $80 one, especially if you're wanting that 25th anniversary 9 nub. But again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this view, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later, everybody.